Hello and welcome to another drive-in double feature. I'm Ryan,
I'm Nathan.
and this is the podcast where we talk about two movies a week every Tuesday and Thursday. Before we get anything at all, we have a Patreon over at patreon.com/drive-in double feature podcast. Nathan, I was at my local bakery the other day and I
Mm.
was looking to grip my hands on some nice buns, and I was just salivating looking at those buns, and somebody was like, those buns look so fresh, not as fresh as Nathan and Ryan's Patreon over the Drive-In Double Feature podcast
Mhm.
Patreon. And he said there was all types of fun games, fun conversations, just some fun stuff over there on Patreon. And he said, I hope Ryan and Nathan know how much we appreciate them. And I said, I think they know. Like,
We
I'm
do.
getting a little annoyed. That's that you could hear it in my voice. I was slightly passive aggressive when I said that to him. So,
I think they
uh,
know, okay, buddy.
yeah. So anyway, it's only $5 a month. Don't doesn't it's regular content is not locked behind that. But today we are talking about 1993's National Lampoon's Loaded Weapon 1, which is directed by Gene Quintano, who is a returning personality to this podcast, as he wrote both of the Alan Quartermain movies that we have covered. Um, now,
Woo.
Nathan, let me ask Nathan, let me ask you, how many have you seen any of the Lethal Weapon movies?
Yeah, I've seen all the Lethal Weapon movies. I grew up on Lethal Weapon. My dad loves those movies, so I've seen a lot. I've seen them a lot.
Okay, well that's good. I've only seen two of them. So,
Really, the first two?
yep.
Wow. So
No,
you
one and three.
one and three? Really? You did? Wait,
No, no,
okay. I was gonna say because the second one's the best one.
no. So one and two.
Yeah, yeah.
And anyway, so this movie is basically a direct ripoff of those movies. And
Mhm.
this is another parody movie, kind of like in the same vein as Airplane or any of the other movies that we've talked about in the past.
Actually, to the point where I thought before this week, I thought this was a Zucker Brothers movie. I thought it was them, but no,
We
it's not.
think the Zucker brothers would stoop down to National Lampoon.
You're right. You're
I,
right. They would never touch a National Lampoons except for race naked through the college yard. No, wait, that's naked, not naked,
Mile.
naked mile. But also that's not National
That,
Lampoons.
no, it's not. It's American
Yeah,
Pie.
that's American Pie. They were making the same garbage, like 10 Van Wilder movies.
Yeah, don't you think of National Lampoon only has quality? Don't you remember TV the movie
I don't.
or
I don't.
or The Proposal or whatever, where it was like this guy's like begging his wife to have a threesome,
No, I don't remember that one.
right? Where it has the guy Stuttering John from the Howard Stern show in
Oh
the
my
starring role.
God.
But
I forgot they like tried to make that guy like a star, right? For a little bit. Like he was like he did Jay Leno, right? He was like the narrator
he
for
was
Jay Leno for a little.
yeah, he was the announcer for Jay Leno.
What a weird time.
Just
What a weird
really
time.
bizarre. Um, anyway, like this movie is a parody movie of all those Lethal Weapon type movies, and it stars Emilio Estevez and Samuel L. Jackson. And this is Samuel L. Jackson before he was a big deal.
Yeah.
Because this is just right before Pulp Fiction. So this is he hasn't had his breakout role yet, where he becomes like a big name guy, where like
Mhm.
people are just like dying to put him in this movie. And this like at this time, like he had been in some movies, but never like any like these big starring roles or anything, I would say.
Yeah, that's why I'm
Wouldn't you say?
surprised he got a starring role in this movie pre like Pulp Fiction. But no, I totally agree. I feel it's a surprising movie to see from him. But pre Samuel Jackson, before he would literally be in any script that came to his door. Yes, you can even consider that this one though, a National Lampoon's movie rolling up to your door. But to star in a comedy, that's a good thing. I'm looking at his filmography. It looks like he was in Spike Lee movies. He was in Do the Right Thing. He did play the radio host in that movie. I forgot he shows up in Eddie Murphy Raw. Uh, completely forgot about
Oh yeah.
that.
Oh
But
yeah. And this also the same year too, he was the guy in Jurassic Park, like the security guy.
that's right. So
So
his star was rising, but you are right. Like he was never really like
always in
as
supporting,
huge. Yes. Except for here, where I would say
except
he
for here.
co-leads the movie.
Absolutely. Although I would argue Emilio Estevez does have more screen time, but
He
still.
does. He does have a portion of the movie just all to himself.
Because after Emilio Estevez, right after he was in that one movie, that we just loved. What's that one called?
We've done an Emilio Estevez movie.
Yeah, didn't we do that one where it's like he went through like time and he was like a race car driver or
Oh
something?
yes. Oh, Free Jack. Free
Yeah,
masterpiece. Free Jack. That's right.
yeah.
That's your career
When
only
he,
goes up from there.
yeah, yeah, he was in Free Jack and Mighty Ducks or something. I don't know, but
No.
anyway.
Hmm.
But yeah, Emilio Estevez is definitely the Mel Gibson of this movie, and he is kind of like a crazy, like loose cannon guy, and Samuel L. Jackson is the like elder statesman of the group that's kind of like done it all and seen it all type of thing. And this movie, I mean, besides the two leads, this movie has like I was surprised how many like stars were in this movie. I was just like,
Yeah.
holy crap, I was not expecting all these people.
I forgot. So like I don't know if I said this last time, but I used to watch this movie all the time as a kid. I forget what channel it played on. I think it was Comedy Central. They would always play this, and I would watch it anytime it came on. But it's been a long time since I've watched it, and I forgot the insane cast here. Like it is just full to the brim. William Shatner is the main villain. John Lovitz play. I think he's supposed to be parodying
Joe
the
Pesci.
yeah, Joe Pesci in the Lethal Weapon movies. Just like even like little cameos. They got Denise Richards, pre-famed Denise Richards, but she's here. Dennis Leary plays a really tiny role too. It's surprising.
It's Phil Hartman,
Oh yeah, and Phil
Corey
Hartman is
Feldman,
just like a yeah, Corey Feldman. God,
Whoopi
Scotty.
Goldberg.
Whoopi. It's kind of like a celebrity cameo parody movie, except this one's actually funny. The joke isn't they're famous. Look, that's funny because they're famous. They
Yeah,
actually have a
yeah,
joke behind them.
they don't have like Kim Kardashian like in a movie like, oh my God, it's Kim Kardashian, and then she just like gets hit in the face or something. Like,
Yeah, exactly. Oh, F. Murray Abraham shows up. That's probably the weirdest one to me.
oh yeah, he's like the Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah, and I forgot I got confused on what year this came out. I thought it was 91, so I was like, wow, that's really like recent, but no, it's 93, so there was time.
Yeah. Um, but anyway, the movie does go like the usual trope of like Whoopi Goldberg is at the beginning of this movie, she ends up getting murdered by Tim Curry,
Hmm.
and it's kind of sets off like this plot of like, there was like this big drug ring that they were smuggling drugs into Girl Scout cookies and
Hmm.
distributing them. And Whoopi Goldberg was like Samuel L. Jackson's like ex-partner,
Hmm.
and he ends up getting paired up with Emilio Estevez, and they don't work out, and that's basically like the main plot of the movie, and the rest of the movie is just like jokes.
Yeah, just
Like,
gags. And it's a movie where it's like a joke every minute. There is not a moment that like there isn't one. And it reminds me so much of Naked Gun, where like it's like some jokes may not land, but there's so many jokes that are legitimately funny that it helps make it a fun experience.
yeah, well, like the funny thing is too is like they both had to have like this big tragic background, and Samuel Jackson talked about his partner being dead, and like Emilio Estevez talking is like, oh yeah, my partner Claire died, and he's like kind of alluding that it's like this woman or whatever, but it's
Hmm.
really just like this golden retriever that was like that he
Yeah.
keeps saying like she would wake me up every morning licking my face or sniffing my crotch.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
crazy.
It's hard. It's hard to not love a partner who sniffed my crotch every morning or something like that. Like just I think that I agree. And there's that dog later in the movie that shows up and he's like playing with it at the crime scene with dead bodies. Just I don't know, silly stuff like that.
And the dog just starts attacking him. He just starts beating up the dog.
And it's in the background. It's one of those movies where like the jokes are also in the background. Like there's signs on the wall that you're supposed to read and stuff like that. One of my there's jokes in this movie that have lasted with me to this day. There's a lot I'd forgotten, but I love the bit in the crime scene where Samuel Jackson walks up to the other cop and is like, "Oh, how's it going?" He said, "Oh, a little itchy, a little burning on the scalp," and it becomes like
Like Head
a
and
commercial, a
Shoulders.
Head and Shoulders commercial, and it's like, "Try this," and just something like I just thought that I still think that's so funny. It's just so stupid, but I love it. And later he
And then
has
the
the
next,
shampoo in his hair.
yeah, he's just like lathering his hair. He's just like, oh, sir, it's starting to tingle. And he's like, that means it's working.
He gives a thumbs up. Yeah, it's still silly stuff like that that I love.
Uh, yeah, there's other little jokes too, where it's Emilio Estevez is clearly like in like this trailer, like on the beach. But then
Hmm.
like when he walks in, it's just like a mansion on the inside.
Yeah, with pedestals holding up the roof and everything. It's like beautiful in there.
Hmm.
I There's even one joke that it has like dumb jokes that like I feel like you could see anywhere. Just the way it does it is good. At the very beginning of the movie is Emilio Estevez going to a convenience store and just busting a couple perps in there. And he's reading a magazine at one point, and all the little flyers are falling out. And by the end of it, he's
Yeah.
standing in a pile of flyers. Like, okay, like I guess he just thought of the joke and he put it in the movie, and I don't know, it kind of works.
I I like that scene too, because like he ends up killing like all the two perps and they go flying out the window and they keep doing like somersaults like it like lasts forever.
Yes,
And
yeah.
like the owners of them are just like, what are you doing? Like you wrecked our store. And he's just like, no need to thank me. Like he just
Yeah.
drives off and leaves the bodies like in the parking lot.
Yeah, and I think what makes like this stuff work is like Emilio and Samuel L. Jackson are playing such a good straight man role. Like the idea that like
Hmm.
all this weird stuff is happening, all these jokes, and they're paying no attention to it. It's as if the world is meant to be this goofy, and it's not being pointed out, and that's why Naked Gun works because the straight man idea, and I think that's why this works here.
One joke too I like where Emilio Estevez is like disarming this bomb, and John Lovitz, like you said, is in this movie. And earlier he gets killed, but he's just like he comes back, and he's just like, "What are you doing here?" He's like, "I was like, I thought you were dead." I was like, "Isn't this the sequel?" Like,
Yeah, and then he becomes a character for the rest of the movie.
yeah.
Yeah, I think he even says like, I might be annoying now, but you'll get used to me. You'll find me funny. um,
And but no, I like when he's like disarming this bomb, and he's like, and he gets like super serious, like, "Hey, have you ever seen the movie like Hot Shots? Like, it's like." It's really weird, like how this movie's just kind of like beat for beat, like the same as Hot Shots, and he's just like, "Shut up!"
yeah, I like, and Charlie Sheen even shows up in this movie for a very like it's actually not that brief of a cameo because he plays like a valet who takes their car and he keeps coming back and he's just like, validation, I need validation. And just like he's
Yeah,
not really doing anything funny, but it's kind of funny he's in the background and nobody
when
cares.
he, when Sam Jackson gives him a tip, and he's just like, "Don't you have anything
That's right.
here?
Smaller.
Don't you have anything smaller?" And he's like, "No, keep it." He's like, "Oh, do you have
Yeah.
anything larger?"
Yeah, that is
Uh,
pretty good. Um,
um, there's just like really stupid gags like that too. Like there's a scene where like every time they try to get into a car, like it explodes, or just like their valet car like ends up exploding. They call it a cab, the cab ends up exploding. And then like the part where I was not expecting is like he they commandeer like these bikes from these kids, and then all of a sudden like the bikes just explode too.
yeah, yeah, golden moment right there. I love that late in the movie Samuel L. Jackson gets these traits that stop him from doing things, just like any cop movie. Like he gets told to shoot Tim Curry, and he starts to flip out because he has a memory of not shooting, of shooting a mime with a fake gun pointed at Whoopi Goldberg at one point. And this is late in the movie that this is brought up. And then there's another one where we have a flashback where he accidentally lets an old lady like gets hit at like a crosswalk that he's a crossing guard for, and he has this huge monologue of as a kid like, I will never break the rules again, I will always go by the books. And that's a huge flashback. I love that like little backstory we get.
I like it. He had a name tag. It was like Wes Luger at 12 years old.
Yeah. That was an odd gag. So there's like some weird gags with the subtitles at one point where there's Nazis and like Emilio Estevez crashes into the captions on screen. I don't know. That one's odd. That's an odd. I don't know what made them come up with that.
Yeah. Well, like there's that one, and then there's the I do think it was funny, like they're like Los Angeles,
Yeah.
nighttime, 90 or like 76 degrees, and she's like, and Whoopi Goldberg, it's like it's 9:30, and it's like shows the time as the subtitle like 9:37, like 9:37, right? It's like,
Yeah, yeah, which
oh,
it's funny.
um,
But like you said, there is like a limited plot here. It's just set up for jokes. It's basically them hunting down William Shatner who's sneaking cocaine in the cookies. And then when the ending happens, like honestly, William Shatner is barely in this movie for being a villain. But this movie clocks in at 82 minutes, but the credits roll at an hour 16 minutes. It is a small movie.
yeah, and I think for parody movies that's a little
Yeah.
more forgivable,
Oh
and it's
yeah.
like because it didn't overstay its welcome or anything like that, because they know like for a movie like this, like the plot is very much secondary.
Hey, yeah, you want to
So
laugh. You want to have some jokes.
so I that one's a little more forgivable in my opinion. The stuff I do like is like a lot of the jokes where well, okay, one that I didn't think was very good was the scene when Emilio Estevez goes to have dinner at Samuel Jackson's house,
Hmm.
and he's sitting there, and then like the daughter is like playing footsie with him, and then the son starts playing footsie with him, and the dog.
I actually that one actually got a laugh out of me when the
It
dog's
got a
claw
laugh, but
came
I
in.
was that it saved it there because when it was like the girl, I was just like, oh, like,
Yes, yeah.
but the part that was the funniest part in that scene for me was like, uh, Samuel L. Jackson's wife shows up, and it's like clearly it's like she's been like with this guy and they're having like an affair or something, but they're
Hmm.
all kind of like all over each other, and then and he ends up getting into like a big fight with her, and it
Hmm.
was like it's like, things haven't been the same since your mother had died. And she's just like staring at him like, wait, what? He's like, oh, did I not give you that message? And she's
It's
like,
been six
ah.
months.
And she
Y-
just screams.
Yes, that was a good one. Oh, you got to bring up the one you referenced at the beginning, the buns.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, yeah, the buns in the moonlight, because that's a scene from Lethal Weapon, and Emilio Estevez does it with it's definitely a prosthetic butt on him.
Yeah, but it's just a very gratuitous butt shot. And she's like, where are you going? He's like, nowhere. Just doing an unmotivated moonlock butt shot or like a butt walk in the moon or whatever.
Yeah, there is one thing that I think this movie does that I find interesting is there's a girl that runs the Girl Scout cookies thing who doesn't really want to do it. They meet up with her, and she's really attracted to Emilio Estevez. And then she says, "One second, I'm going to change." Lets down her hair, and then they change the actress completely. And they don't bring back the hair up actress ever again the rest of the movie.
I thought that was funny.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, it's goofy.
uh, or there's a scene, so she ends up having sex with Emilio Estevez, and
Mhm.
and,
It
and again,
becomes a
it's
joke
like,
for the rest of the movie.
well they don't well actually they don't have sex because it's
Yeah.
just it shows like 1 minute later, and they're smoking cigarettes in bed, and
Hmm.
and then when he's like dropping her off at her house, she's like, next time, do you think we could? have sex instead of just smoking cigarettes in bed. And he's just like, yeah, all
Maybe.
right.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think that like because like I don't know, it's fun. They do good callbacks like that throughout this movie. One joke I didn't like, I guess if we're gonna just name things I didn't like, is when Emilio Estevez dresses up as Rambo and he has too many guns on him and he falls over. Like that actually felt like Hot Shots. Like that's like the poster of Hot Shots, and I was like, okay, I don't know why we did this.
Well, technically, Nathan, actually,
Actually.
that was pre Hot Shots Part 2.
Really? Okay, so you're saying Hot Shots Part 2 stole from this movie?
Yeah, I'm
Wow.
saying it.
Yeah.
I'm calling them out.
Good. Let's get them now, all these years later.
Well, actually, it was the same year, I guess, but still.
But still, they were definitely weren't stealing.
Um, but yeah, I mean, we could go on here for days
Oh
talking
yeah.
about this type of stuff. Overall, I mean, like you said, there's some jokes that definitely don't land, but overall, I was pretty entertained for the most part of this movie, where I was just, I mean, like, I would, because this movie does not have very good ratings. It's
I'm
pretty, very,
surprised how much people hate this movie. It's like pretty panned.
it's poorly rated, and allegedly, this movie, there was going to be a sequel to this movie. Like, this was like, they had every intention of making a
Mhm.
second one, but due to poor performance, ended up they didn't do it, and very much a critical failure and a box office failure. And so this movie just kind of became like a home rental type of movie. Like, because I remember seeing this at Blockbuster a lot. I never
Mhm.
ended up renting it, but I do remember seeing it there. And this movie was, I mean, like I said, I was pretty entertained.
Mhm.
I enjoyed a lot of the jokes in here, and for me, like, if you like dumb comedies like the parody movies, I would definitely say it's a recommend for me.
Yeah, I just enjoyed it because it's good for a laugh. You know, if a comedy like this can make me laugh as consistently as this one does, I'd say it came out on top. And it's not like a perfect movie or anything, but it's dumb fun, and I can appreciate that. So I recommend it if you've never seen it. I think it's definitely one of the better parody movies. I've even seen parody movies from this era that aren't as funny as this one. So I think it holds up pretty well.
Definitely. I always enjoy a good laugh like that. So I think that's going to do it for this one. So, Nathan, what are we going to be talking about next time?
Well, Ryan, we are back at it again. Can you believe it? It's been 3 weeks. So it is time to talk about, well, actually, I don't know what to call it anymore. I don't know what you're doing, but at least we're going to do Dirty
It's
Harry
the half of
again.
it. It's definitely going to be dirty. We know that.
Okay, yeah, it's definitely going to be dirty. And we are going to be talking about the Deadpool, not Ryan Reynolds. Ryan, good Lord. I'm sorry. I know you
What
got
the?
excited for a second. No.
What Wolverine?
That's Deadpool. This is the Deadpool with a space in the middle between dead and pool.
All right. I think we're going to do Nathan. We're going to take a little break between themes. So this is just going to be a one shot.
Hmm.
But Nathan, we're going to be talking about 1961's Gorgo, and that is
Yeah.
streaming for free on Tubi.
I like the sound of that one. Gorgo, that's a good name. It's got a good ring to it.
But we want you to Gorgo to our Gmail account at drive and double feature podcast at gmail.com. Let us know any feedback you have for us or any suggestions. Don't forget to check out the Patreon over at patreon.com/drive and double feature podcast. And once again, check out the YouTube channel, Drive and Double Feature Podcast. But until next time.
Until next time.